Well, good afternoon, IBC family. I just wanted to take a moment to just encourage you, and I just want to let you know, first of all, that we as a pastoral staff have had the opportunity to already pray for you, and we're fasting for you today. I know that all of us are forced to make adjustments in the crisis that we're currently in, and even the adjustments that we're making today and kind of the forced quarantine, and all that's probably going to change tomorrow because things are changing so rapidly. I'm also aware of the fact that with this increased social isolation, and I know that some of you are at increased risk for the coronavirus, I know that comes with, kind of presents a lot of challenges. Challenges like, how you're going to get food, or maybe get your medications picked up, or get a ride to the doctor's office, whatever it may be. I know some of you parents are actually starting to homeschool your kids. You never thought you'd be doing that a month ago. Some of you are actually looking for childcare for your kid, and you didn't think you'd be dealing with this a month ago. Some of you have a lot of time on your hands because your schedule is now very open, and you're probably going stir crazy because everything is closed. In light of everything that's going on, I just want to encourage you with a couple of things. First of all, I want to encourage you in this way. Do not be afraid, because God is with you. Do not be afraid, because your God is with you. Just this morning I was forwarded a passage of scripture that I thought was very appropriate for what we are going through right now. In Acts chapter 7, starting in verse 9, we see that Stephen he's kind of on trial, and he's the first martyr of the first church. He's really the first martyr as a Christian, and he's standing for giving a defense for his faith. But in that, he identifies some very encouraging realities, encouraging theology. He says this in Acts chapter 7, and I'll read it to you. He says, "The patriarchs were jealous of their brother Joseph, and they sold him into slavery to the land of Egypt. But God was with him, and he rescued him from all his troubles. And God gave him favor with Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And God also gave Joseph unusual wisdom." Even this past week, I was reading in Isaiah chapter 41, and multiple places in the chapter 41st chapter of Isaiah, we see that God reaffirms his presence, and therefore he says this. He says, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be discouraged, for I am your God." He goes on to say, "I will strengthen you, and I will help you, and I will hold you up with my victorious right hand." So even as we'll learn more fully this weekend at our live stream service, we must understand, church family, that God, first of all, God is not alarmed. God is not shocked by everything that's going on. God is not anxious in any way. In fact, no, I believe that God is on the move. And I truly believe, church family, that God has multiple intentions that he's going to accomplish through this crisis that we're all in. First of all, I believe that he's going to grow us personally. I also believe that he's going to grow his church numerically. And so I look forward with anticipation for what God is going to do to refine his church, to grow his church, and how we are going to be that much more healthy because of what we're going through together right now. A second thing I like to encourage you with is this. We as a body have the opportunity to serve one another as the body. As I kind of mentioned in my message yesterday that was sent out via Newsline, the body takes care of the body. And so we have that opportunity to serve one another as well as serve the community that we live in. And we can do that in a number of ways. And I just want to address this and give you some practical suggestions for how you can put that into action. For one, I just want to encourage you to reach out to those who you already know. I know there's questions coming in like, who's going to reach out to this person? Who's going to reach out to that person? And the fact is, we all know many people. And if we know them, then we also have a duty. We have a responsibility to pursue them. In fact, if I could just say this, if somebody comes to your mind, or if someone comes that just kind of comes to mind and you're wondering, oh, I wonder how this person is doing, please take that as God's prompting in your life to reach out to that person. Even if you don't know why. If God puts someone on your heart, make the call, shoot the text, whatever it may be, write a letter if you want to, but reach out to that person. Secondly, I want to just encourage you in this way to reach out to your neighbors. And I specifically mean your geographic neighbors. And perhaps you're already doing this, and I love it. I know that so many of you are very intentional in this way. But I do want to say, reach out to your neighbors and just let them know that you are there for them. Whether it be a note left at their door, a phone call that's made, or if they're willing for you to come and to meet in person, of course 6 feet apart, whatever it may be, just be intentional in that way. And the third thing is this: let our lovely ladies in the office, our church office, know that you're available to serve in any way. As I said before, some of you have more time than you thought you'd have at this point in time. Maybe some of you, even high schoolers and college students, because you're no longer taking classes right now, this is maybe an opportunity for you to respond in a very practical, very tangible way. But if you let our ladies know that you're available to run an errand, to pick up some groceries, to deliver some medications, I know that would help many people tremendously, not only in our church body, but also in our community. And I will say this to those of you who have needs. If you don't know who to reach out to, and you do have very real needs, then please let us know, because we want to serve you, we want to love you, and we want to be there for you. So let me just conclude in this way. I can't wait to hear about all the many God stories as a result of this season that we're in. I don't know how this all plays out, neither do you. Nobody knows, only God does. But I fully trust God, and I can't wait to see how He's going to connect us, even in our quarantine, even in our isolation. He's going to connect us by the way we get to serve one another and by the way we get to love one another. Even as you see right behind me, the sign of James. We did our old James series. I love that what James emphasizes when he says this is true undefiled religion, that we would pursue and go after the orphans and the widows and also meet people's practical needs in the most practical of way. So church family, let me just conclude again, as I said, in this way. My prayer for us is that we would be very God-inspired, God-filled, and God-influenced as we interpret everything that's going on in the news, as we engage with our new normal, whatever that looks like for you. And may we glorify God in our words and our actions. God bless you, IBC family. I can't wait to see you this weekend, this Sunday at 9 a.m. sharp.